A pair of unreleased
Clark has
basketball
repeatedly
shoes
given
became one of the
credit to
loudest
teammates,
stories of
praised opponents
WNBA
publicly,
All-Star Weekend. Players were asking Caitlin
which
Clark
happens
for
to be the
pairs.
single most
Courtney
reliable
Williams
traffic
said she
generator
was
in
wearing
women's
hers that
basketball
night.
right now.
And
There's also
the clips
something a
spread
little
so
media
quickly that
reporters have
social
both
media
players'
turned a
sides
sneaker
with candid
handoff
moments,
into an
plenty of
Aya
time to
Wilson
cover other
crisis.
stories. She
But
didn't
one
do that.
detail changes the
Saying
entire
something
story.
critical is surface
Caitlin
around
Clark's
her
signature
directly,
shoe
and her
has not
answer
even
said
gone on
everything
sale
about
yet.
where her head
Nike
actually
still
is.
lists the
She
Caitlin
told
1
ESPN
as coming
the
soon,
coverage of her
and there is no
conversation back to
verified
the
interview,
So when
post,
someone with a
or
national
public
platform
reaction
stands up and
showing
says she
Aya
needs to be
Wilson
more
melting down
self-aware,
over
it's a
any
lot
of
of
it.
words to
So
essentially
why did
say
this
one
story
thing.
explode?
Caitlin
Because the
Clark
real
isn't doing
competition
enough for
is
her
not
fellow
happening
players,
in a press
and it's
conference. It is happening in the space
the
between
cameras from the
performance,
actual event
popularity,
had already
peer
packed up and
approval,
gone home.
and the enormous business of deciding which athlete can move culture as well as product. The moment that triggered the conversation looked simple. During WNBA All-Star Weekend in Chicago, Clark showed up with samples of her first signature Nike shoe. Other players immediately wanted pairs. The reaction did not feel like a formal sponsor event where everyone smiles because cameras are rolling. It looked spontaneous. Players picked up the shoes, examined the colorway, asked about sizes, and talked about wearing them in competition. Clark even admitted that several players had requested pairs, but there was a practical problem. At that stage, she mostly had size 9 samples. That meant some of the players wearing the shoes were literally playing in Clark's own sample size before the model reached public shelves. Courtney Williams delivered the line that pushed the moment across social media. After receiving a pair, she said she was wearing them that night. That is the kind of reaction brands cannot manufacture. With a polished commercial, a teammate or opponent choosing to compete in an unreleased model carries a different kind of credibility. These players understand traction, cushioning, stability, weight, and fit better than almost anyone buying from a retail app. When they want the shoe before the public can even order it, people notice. That does not automatically make the Caitlin 1 the best basketball shoe in the league. It does not prove the model will dominate sales for years. But it does confirm that Nike has created genuine curiosity inside the WNBA itself, and that may be more valuable than another week of generic advertising. The first major correction is important. The Caitlin 1 is not sold out. As of August 1st, Nike's own site lists the shoe is coming soon with a $140 price. Reliable release reporting has pointed to an October launch. Until customers can actually buy it, there is no legitimate sell-through number, no verified inventory figure, and no fair way to claim it defeated another signature shoe at retail. What people are reacting to is pre-release demand. That is still a major story, just a different one. Pre-release demand tells a company how many people are watching. It measures searches, comments, wish lists, social engagement, retailer interest, and the speed at which every new colorway becomes content. Nike has spent months feeding that machine carefully. Clark has appeared in multiple versions of the shoe, from clean monochromatic looks to the sunrise-style gradient pair she debuted around All-Star Weekend. Each new appearance restarts the conversation without requiring a full public launch. That strategy fits Clark almost perfectly. Her game has always created anticipation. Fans do not only watch the shot after it goes in, they watch the possession developing, the defender backing up, and the moment Clark crosses the logo with enough space to consider something unreasonable. Nike is selling a similar feeling around the shoe. The product is visible, close, and constantly discussed, but still, just out of reach. The $140 price also matters. Nike is not positioning the Caitlin 1 as a novelty item or a low-risk experiment. That price places it firmly in the serious performance basketball market. Clark has said the design process focused heavily on comfort and technology because she wanted a shoe that could match or exceed the performance she gets from the Kobe models she has worn throughout her career. That is where the player reactions become more meaningful. WNBA athletes are not just reacting to Clark's name. They are evaluating something they may actually wear through cuts, stops, defensive slides, and long minutes. A shoe can have a famous athlete attached to it and still fail to earn trust on the court. The early requests suggest the Caitlin 1 has at least cleared the first barrier. Players are curious enough to put it into real competition. Then social media made the predictable jump. If players love Clark's shoe, somebody else must be angry. If Clark is winning attention, Aya Wilson must be losing it. And because Wilson has her own Nike signature line, she became the easiest person to place on the other side of a rivalry that had not actually been confirmed. That is how a product story became a supposed meltdown. There is no credible evidence that Wilson reacted negatively to Clark gifting shoes to other players. No verified quote shows jealousy. No public post attacks the Caitlyn one. No interview suggests she is worried about Clark's launch. During the same All-Star Weekend, Wilson was promoting and wearing her own second signature model, the A2, while discussing leadership, business, financial judgment, and the future of her career. Silence is not a meltdown. A facial expression is not a business statement. And the absence of Wilson from one viral shoe gifting clip does not prove she was upset somewhere off camera. The stronger story is that Nike now has two very different WNBA signature businesses developing at the same time. Wilson's line is built on one of the most accomplished basketball resumes of the modern era. Nike launched the A2 globally on May 2nd, only 1 year after the Aone established her signature collection. The company described the second model as a performance upgrade built around Wilson's power, control, and movement. It added forefoot air zoom, a midfoot shank, a molded upper, cushioning, and design details connected directly to Wilson's identity. That is not how a brand treats a failed athlete partnership. A second model, expanded apparel, adult, and kids sizing, and a global launch represent continued investment. The Aone also earned real adoption inside the league. A 2025 on-court footwear ranking placed it 5th among all shoes worn in WNBA minutes, not merely 5th among women's signature models. More than a dozen players were reported to have worn Wilson's first signature shoe. In other words, peer approval is not something Clark invented or something Wilson lacks. Wilson already proved that other professionals trusted her product. That fact changes the comparison completely. The viral argument says Clark's shoes are loved while Wilson's shoes are ignored. The evidence says something more interesting. Wilson already has a successful, established signature line, while Clark is creating unusually intense excitement before her first model is even available. Those are two different victories. Wilson's advantage is proof. Her shoes have launched. Players have worn them. Customers have bought them. Nike has already moved to model number 2. Clark's advantage is anticipation. Her first shoe has become a major WNBA topic before the market has delivered a single verified launch day. Sales report. That gap between proof and anticipation is exactly where online debate thrives. Fans naturally want a scoreboard. They want to know who sold more, who sold faster, which shoe players prefer, and which athlete Nike values most. But those answers require information the public does not fully have. Brands rarely reveal complete production numbers. A shoe selling out from a small inventory can look more impressive than a model that remains available after a much larger release. Resale prices can show scarcity without proving broad consumer satisfaction. On-court usage can reflect comfort, contracts, access, or personal relationships. A fair comparison cannot be built from one screenshot saying sold out, especially when one of the shoes has not launched. There is also a deeper reason Aya Wilson keeps getting pulled into Caitlyn Clark marketing stories. Wilson represents the traditional definition of basketball authority. Championships, MVP awards, elite defense, scoring dominance, and years of proven excellence. Clark represents a newer form of power that combines basketball production with massive crossover attention. Her highlights travel beyond the WNBA audience. Her products become general sports news. Her name attracts viewers who may not know the standings, but know exactly when she hits a 30-foot three. Those forms of power overlap, but they are not identical. A player can be the best in the world and not be the biggest commercial phenomenon. A player can be the most marketable athlete in a league without owning the strongest championship resume. Sports history is filled with stars whose cultural reach and competitive achievements grew at different speeds. The uncomfortable part is that online discussion often treats those differences as personal insults. Praising Clark's commercial reach becomes an attack on Wilson's basketball greatness. Defending Wilson's accomplishments becomes proof that somebody resents Clark's popularity. The conversation leaves no room for two athletes to succeed through different paths. Nike clearly sees room for both. At the 2026 All-Star Game, sneaker coverage highlighted Clark's unreleased Caitlin 1 and Wilson's A2 white label edition as two of the event's standout shoes. That image matters. The same company placed both athletes at the center of its women's basketball strategy, with separate designs, separate stories, and separate audiences that can overlap. The business logic is obvious. Clark can bring new customers into basketball footwear. Wilson can give the category championship credibility and an established performance identity. Clark's fans may discover Wilson's line. Wilson's fans may become more interested in the broader expansion of women's signature products. Nike does not need one athlete to collapse for the other to grow. In fact, the biggest winner may be the entire WNBA sneaker market. For years, signature shoes for women's basketball players were treated as rare exceptions. The league had stars, champions, and cultural figures, but footwear companies offered fewer signature opportunities than the talent justified. That is changing. Wilson has moved into her second model. Sabrina Ionescu's line became popular far beyond the WNBA. Breanna Stewart built a continuing Puma series. Angel Reese entered the signature market with Reebok. Clark's first Nike model is approaching launch with enormous attention. That is not evidence of a league in meltdown. It is evidence of a market becoming competitive enough to support multiple stars. Still, Clark's pre-release momentum should not be minimized. Teammates and rivals asking for pairs is exactly the type of moment Nike wanted. It says the shoe is entering basketball culture from the inside out. Fans often copy what athletes wear, and athletes influence each other more than marketing teams like to admit. One respected guard wearing a model in a nationally watched game can generate more interest than a dozen product descriptions. Courtney Williams choosing to wear Clark's samples helped turn the Caitlin 1 from an unreleased celebrity product into an on-court object of desire. It looked usable. It looked wanted. It looked like part of the league rather than merchandise floating above it. That is why the footage traveled. But the footage also proves how quickly legitimate enthusiasm can be converted into unsupported conflict. The players in the clip were celebrating shoes. The internet added Wilson's emotions without Wilson providing them. A positive moment involving Clark became a negative story about another woman who was not responsible for the clip. This pattern is becoming one of the strangest parts of WNBA coverage. Every success needs an enemy. Every compliment becomes a ranking. Every laugh, pause, glance, or missing appearance becomes evidence of tension. It produces clickable headlines, but it also makes it difficult to separate real WNBA news from a story assembled out of assumptions. The responsible conclusion is not that nothing important happened. Something important absolutely happened. Clark demonstrated that she can create peer demand before a public release. Nike demonstrated confidence by pricing the shoe at $140 and extending the rollout across multiple visible moments. WNBA players demonstrated authentic interest by requesting and wearing the samples. That is a strong commercial signal. Wilson, meanwhile, remains the owner of an established Nike signature business with two models and proven WNBA adoption. Nothing in the verified record shows that Clark's momentum caused her to meltdown. If anything, the continued development of the A2 shows Nike is still treating Wilson as a central signature athlete. The real competition begins when the Caitlin 1 launches. That is when analysts can examine availability, inventory depth, sell-through speed, restocks, resale, activity, reviews, and how often the shoe appears on professional courts. A first-day sellout would be meaningful, but only with context. Did Nike release thousands of pairs or hundreds of thousands? Were all sizes available? Did customers return for later colorways? Did players continue wearing it after the novelty faded? A successful signature line is not built in one morning. It is built when the second colorway sells, when the next season starts, when younger players choose the shoe without needing a gifted sample, and when the athlete's identity remains connected to the product after the initial hype cycle ends. Wilson has already reached that second model stage. Clark has not launched Model 1. That is why declaring a final winner now makes no sense. There is another possibility the rivalry framing ignores. Clark's launch could help Wilson's line by expanding the number of consumers paying attention to WNBA footwear. Someone who enters Nike's basketball section looking for the Caitlin 1 will see the A2. Someone comparing performance features may decide Wilson's shoe suits their game better. More attention at the category level can create more sales opportunities for every athlete in it. That is what growth looks like when the market is not treated as a single seat at the table. So the headline says Aya Wilson melted down after WNBA players admitted they loved Caitlin Clark's sold-out shoes. The verified story is almost the opposite. Clark's shoes are not sold out because they are not publicly on sale yet. Players did show genuine excitement, and some wore sample pairs. Wilson has not publicly melted down, and her own Nike line remains active, established, and respected on the court. The drama is not between two athletes. It is between what the evidence shows and what social media needs the evidence to mean. Caitlin Clark has created extraordinary anticipation. Aya Wilson has created a proven signature legacy. One story is about the power of hype before launch. The other is about sustaining a product line after launch. Both matter, and both can succeed without turning every shoe box into a personal feud. The next real answer will come on release day, not from a reaction clip. When the Caitlin 1 finally reaches customers, will the demand match months of anticipation? Will Nike keep enough inventory on shelves, or will sizes disappear immediately? And after the first rush, will WNBA players continue choosing the shoe when the cameras are no longer focused on the unboxing? That is the comparison worth watching. Do you think the players' excitement already proves the Caitlin 1 will become the WNBA's biggest sneaker launch? Or should everyone wait for real sales and on-court data before declaring a winner?